And Republican Congressman Brian Babin of Texas is here for more. Congressman, thank you for coming on. I know you have called this the Schumer shutdown, saying families shouldn't pay the price for a political stunt. Now, in the past, Republicans have used looming shutdowns and other deadlines as leverage to push their priorities. So why shouldn't Democrats do the same?
Well, the Democrats are going to be pushing what's going to be to their advantage. But I will tell you this, unlike many of these other shutdowns, and I've served for a few years now, and I've seen a few, this is definitely a Democrat Schumer shutdown, without question. We offered a very simple, short bill that would fund the government at its existing levels for the past year. And yet they did not want the Democrats under Schumer. Actually, I think Schumer really wanted to go along with us, but he's held hostage by his own radical end of his Democrat Party, and he doesn't want to take the heat for that. And so rather than just give us 7 weeks of open government where we can hammer this thing out, they have demanded all kinds of things which are absolutely unreasonable. The American people do not want. In fact, there's a 65% percentage of all Americans that don't want to shut down right now. They see through this, and they don't want to spend their hard-earned tax money giving 1.5 million illegal aliens Medicare, free health care, and a few more items as well that adds up to over $1 trillion. So we're going to hold their feet to the fire, and I think you're going to see some movement here probably in the next few days. We're already seeing some movement amongst a few of the Democrat senators, and we'll see what happens today.
Congressman, Democrats, the subsidies that they're looking for in Obamacare and Medicaid, none of that stuff goes to illegal immigrants. They're already not eligible for that. So why do you say they're trying to fund health care for illegal immigrants? And do you see any room for compromise on these cuts? Just a couple of days ago, one of your Republican colleagues said that he does favor expanding these subsidies, but not in the way that Democrats want.
Well, Diane, look, I can just tell you, you're using the semantics of the Democrat Party. Yes, it's illegal for illegal aliens to be getting health care benefits, and yet we saw under the 4 years of the Biden administration, they quit checking to see what the citizenship status was, and we changed that earlier this year. The Democrats want to go back to that. Yes, they do admit that it's illegal for illegal aliens to receive these health care benefits, but they were receiving them. We know CBO told us there were 1.4 to 1.5 million illegal aliens.
Are you talking about asylum seekers and refugees who were given legal status?
Include all of those in the above.
So they were given legal status, but you disagree with the fact that they should have it. And is that the issue?
No, I disagree that no illegal alien should be getting free taxpayer benefits, American taxpayer benefits.
And what if they are someone who comes to this country and has legal protections as an asylum seeker, as a refugee, for example?
If the law states they can get it, then that's fine. But these were people who were illegally here, were not vetted, 1.4 to 1.5 million of them, Diane. And that is not right. The American people do not want to see that. We had an election. Trump was elected in an electoral college landslide because of the open borders and the millions and millions of people that came in unvetted, receiving all kinds of taxpayer benefit, while at the same time we're 35, 36, 37 trillion dollars in national debt. They're tired of it, and they're not going to do it. And and President Trump's going to hold their feet to the fire, and so is Mike Johnson, and hopefully Leader Thune will too.
And the law did not allow for that before, and it doesn't allow for that now, Senator. But I want to move on to this Washington Post poll. It shows more Americans blame President Trump and Republicans in Congress for this shutdown over Democrats. That's the opinion. Are you at all concerned that this could hurt Republicans in the midterms?
You know what? If it does hurt us, I'm sorry, but I don't think it will. And I think that I disagree with that poll, because the polls that we're reading say that 65% of the American people do not want a shutdown, and they are not blaming the Republicans. All over my district as I travel, People are saying just keep going, Dr. Babin, keep going, do what you're doing. If you have to shut it down, that's fine. But we understand that it's the Democrats wanting to spend $1 trillion plus of taxpayer money when President Trump has done a tremendous job in paring back the bloated federal bureaucracy and finding all kinds of ways, fraud and abuse. And we want to continue on that path. And they want to continue on this path, and we will.
Congressman, earlier I spoke with a TSA agent and union leader in Texas. He says he's upset with both parties, and he feels like he and his colleagues are being used as political pawns. I want to play you some of what he told me.
They need to sit down at a table, just like you would at any. You have those family members you can't get along with, and stop politicizing everything and start working for the people. We elected you to go to Congress to address these issues, and if they can't do the job, it might be time we start electing other people who will.
Congressman, what's your response to that?
I couldn't agree more with him. This is exactly what we've been trying to do. We've had innumerable conversations with the Democrats, especially on the leadership level, trying to hammer this thing out. I think Chuck Schumer was really initially willing to go along and to avoid this shutdown, just to pass this simple CR that would keep us open for 7 weeks until we could hammer this thing out and talk like just exactly as that gentleman said. Try to hammer our differences out and have it happen. But the radical wing of the Democrat Party is putting pressure on Schumer. They crucified him last time when he avoided a shutdown by cooperating. This time, Schumer is afraid that if he goes along with the Republicans, then he's going to lose his next primary. That's what it looks like to me, and I think the American people can see this.
President Trump is threatening agency cuts and mass layoffs to put pressure on Democrats. The Department of Energy says it's canceling billions of dollars in funding for Democrat-led states, and the Department of Transportation says it's withholding funds from major projects in Chicago. Do you support those moves?
I do. I support those moves. I think President Trump has done a tremendous job cleaning up the bloated bureaucracy in Washington. And no one has moved more efficiently or quickly to streamline our government than President Trump. And I've never seen a president move this rapidly. And we've seen some real results. Now, at the same time, I will say this, that we need to be smart. We've got to be wise. And as chairman of the Science, Space, and Technology Committee, I want to make sure that we don't stifle our innovation, areas where America must lead, research and development of space, of advanced research, fusion, AI, all our cutting edge technology. We've got to be very careful here not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have a waste, fraud, and abuse. This is what Doge discovered. Enormous sums of money being wasted on drag queen shows in Uganda and just crazy stuff like this. And so it's time to clean up the act of the federal bureaucracy, and that's what President Trump is trying to do. But we have to be careful.
So I want to talk about the careful part, because are you concerned at all that this could set a precedent that Democrats could follow if they take back control, that in a role reversal, that they will just threaten or cut programs that they don't support?
Diane, they did. We saw this happen through 4 years of Joe Biden. They cut this, they cut that. If it benefited them and hurt us, they cut the programs. If it benefited them, they added. Whatever it took. We saw some of the biggest abuses I've ever seen of the taxpayers' money. We saw cancellation of people's free speech. It was going on all the time. And so, I mean, it's hypocritical to say that President Trump and the Republicans are violating this and violating that, when we saw absolutely the most egregious examples of that very thing happening for the 4 years of Joe Biden and his administration. And we knew that we had a bloated bureaucracy that was about 80 to 85% Democrat slanted, and we've seen that. And I think this is what some of these layoffs are about, and I approve of them. I think President Trump is doing a tremendous job. And OMB's cuts, they've done a tremendous job. But I do want to say, as chairman of the SST Committee, Science, Space, and Technology, we need to be very, very careful where we make some of these cuts and layoffs and rifts so that we don't wind up stifling our innovation, our research and development, and the technology and the science and the space, that we are locked into a battle with the Chinese, the Russians, and many other rogue nations around the world today. We have to be careful.
All right, Republican Congressman Brian Babin of Texas, we appreciate your time today, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.